I am on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. Connect with me on Patreon, and we will grow. And I will give you much more deep insights on Vedic astrology, and lot more secrets will be shared there. Okay, so I got this question from a client that in one case of horoscope matching, it was found that the Atmakaraka of one partner is the Darakaraka of the other partner and vice versa. Kind of a coincidence. Let's say Jupiter was the Atmakaraka for the boy and Mercury was the Darakaraka for the boy. The reverse happened in the girl's chart. Mercury became the Atmakaraka for the girl, whereas Jupiter becomes the Darakaraka for the girl. So you see, the Atmakaraka becomes the Darakaraka, the Dara becomes the Atmakaraka. But before going there, Atmakaraka means the planet which is of the highest degree and which represents your soul's purpose in this life, whereas Darakaraka means something that connects you with your life partner, something that is of the lowest degree, and which means in this life you need to learn a lot about that planet. Now, we will discuss in detail in this situation. There is a technical understanding in Jyotish, what happens and should you see the 7th house and 7th house Lord. Stay tuned till the end. You will get to know some knowledge about Vedic astrology, and connect with me on Instagram. The Instagram ID is in the description box. Also, if you want to take my consultation, you can drop me an email. And if you want to book a comprehensive 300 plus pages report, which is a system generated report, but which contains 10 plus years of your predictions, numerous hints, numerous analysis, your chart, divisional charts and Mahadasha, and different aspects of Vedic astrology that will help you in your journey in Jyotish, do book that. Check the link in the description box. I want to discuss more about the Darakaraka and the Atmakaraka now. Now, see, when you are talking about the planet of the highest degree and then you are talking about the planet of the lowest degree, you are talking two ends of the spectrum. One is something which holds highest maturity, and one is yet to see, yet to discover, yet to figure out what is happening in this world. Now, you have to see the condition of the 7th Lord. If 7th Lord of the person is strong, this means that the person can very well manage the imperfections of life, especially in the marriage. We are only talking this in context of relationship and marriage. But if 7th house Lord is corrupt, and if Darakaraka Lord also becomes negative, then this can create extreme difficulty in marriage. You may end up choosing wrong life partner and then sticking around, and then your own selection becomes your enemy. And if the Darakaraka and Atmakaraka switches, you can say it is more like a lock and key combination where you can fulfill the imperfections of your life partner and vice versa. The other partner can fulfill the imperfections of yours, which means you have to be a student of each other. See, this is where the modern thinking goes wrong, where you think about equality. Here, it's not about equality. It's about being for each other and accepting your flaws. And the same goes true for the other person. Person A and B are marrying. A is great in something, B is not that good in that particular thing. So B has to accept the guidance of A, and the A has to accept the guidance of B on the other matter. For that, you have to see the planet in consideration. Say Mars and Moon are the planets, then one can be aggressive, one can be overly emotional. So the person have to adjust. Now sometimes if the Atmakaraka and Darakaraka itself has enmity, say Sun becomes the Atmakaraka, Saturn becomes the Darakaraka, then you tend to reject the advice given by your life partner. And in that case, if the reverse happens, the Saturn becomes the Atmakaraka and the Sun becomes the Darakaraka, then one person will keep on trying and the other person will keep on rejecting. So on one side, this is a very good match on paper, but this needs a lot of work. This cannot just happen like this. This cannot this can't have an automatic reaction or an automatic beautiful marriage out of this. You cannot just think that just because Atmakaraka and Darakaraka are switching, it means it's a perfect combination. It can be a lock and key combination, but the lock has to accept the key. The key has to be designed as per the lock. So the sacrifices are many. You have to do a lot of sacrifices. You have to bring a lot of changes in your life. And then you will see that it becomes perfect after some time, after a while. Usually it will happen when Jupiter crosses through the 7th house or aspects the 7th Lord or aspects the Darakaraka of either of the partner, and naturally it gives you the feeling. But here the feeling of surrender has to come, the feeling of oneness has to come, the feeling of spirituality has to come, acceptance has to come, gratitude has to come, appreciation has to come. So, a lot of good quality has to happen to both of the people in order to make this work. Why? Because if I am bad at something and you are good at the same thing, that means I might feel, I'm talking in the third person sense, that that person might feel that the life partner is trying to demean that person, demean him. And this feeling that you are better than me, but I am better than you, in this case becomes a competition. So I have seen in many cases where this happens, the marriage actually ends in a divorce. Not that every such case will end up in a divorce, but you have to, that is why I mentioned you have to see the 7th Lord's position. If the 7th Lord is good, it is manageable. If the 7th Lord of either of the person, male or female, becomes bad, then this can create a lot of hurdles. And sometimes this is a lifelong journey of managing and trying to adjust and do sacrifices for each other. I hope this explains that Atmakaraka and Darakaraka is not a fancy concept. It's not that it's very simple or straightforward. You have to see so many things. If the Darakaraka's planet in the person chart is, say in the male chart, the Darakaraka planet is very strong, but the Atmakaraka is debilitated. Now how will you treat this case? Because the Darakaraka becomes the Atmakaraka for the spouse. In that case, one person may simply dominate the other person. It can become a torturous relationship for one person. But on the other case, even if it is debilitated but has Jupiter's aspect, if the two partner has cordial relationship, it can become a very beautiful relationship. So when the Atmakaraka and Darakaraka switches the role, the responsibility of the partners in the marriage becomes extremely high, because it can only happen if you are in a karmic relationship and you are supposed to be together, you are supposed to fulfill the karma towards each other. And if it is happening, you have to pray to Bhagwan Mahadev by saying Om Namah Shivaya and get along and be there for each other and stick through all the ups and downs in life. I hope this helps. This is just a general analysis, just a surface. It is just a general academic advice. Thousands of variations can happen if you see the chart. Mahadasha can change the interpretation. The Antadasha, the Nakshatra can change the interpretation. But this is just one angle to see the whole image, and this gives you one perspective. Hope this helps.